When you hear the word sales, you probably don't get excited at all. You might even get nervous when you have to think about that pushy car salesman who only cares about taking your money just to get a deal. And in your own business, it's the same thing. You have the fear of rejection, you have a fear of sounding pushy or even being seen as manipulative. That was actually me when I first started in my businesses, right? Sales felt like it was impossible because I carried all of those fears in every conversation. But once I realized one thing about selling, everything changed for me. And that's what we're actually going to dive into on today's episode of Mind the Business. So let's just hop straight into it. And if you want to join the conversation in the Kingmaker Circle, my free community, make sure you comment down below community or tap the link in the description. So let's just hop straight into the conversation. So when I first started, I honestly believed that sales was literally the hardest thing to actually master. Not because the process itself was actually hard or complicated, but because of the multiple fears that I actually had around selling. Because here are some of here are some of the fears that I actually had when it came to selling. My first fear was the fear of rejection. Like every time somebody told me no, I took that personally. Like I felt bad about it. And the reason why, just looking back on it, the reason why was because my identity was tied to the sale. And if they said no, I thought that I wasn't doing good enough or that I didn't have any value. And that was the farthest from the truth. I just had to focus on the right part of the sale. And then, like, the second fear that I actually had was about asking for money. Now, growing up, I was always told, don't you be out here begging for people for their money. So every time I started asking somebody to buy something, it felt like I was begging. But one of my homeboys, he actually pointed out to me something about the word beg. In the dictionary, the word beg, by definition, actually means to humbly ask. And so now when I think about it, selling isn't begging, it's offering a solution to people. And then there were other fears like the fear of being manipulative, feeling like people are going to think that I'm trying to manipulate them or whatever the case may be. I didn't want people thinking that I was tricking them out their money just to get them to buy something. That's not what I wanted. And so, that and then the fear of not being enough, right? Sometimes I literally thought to myself, who am I to charge this? Like that voice of imposter syndrome kept me quiet when I should have been confident, because confidence is one of the key things that helps you be great at sales. Think about great salesmen. They are all confident, right? So like for me, all of that baggage actually made selling feel like it was a heavy weight on my shoulders. And maybe you feel that way too. What about, do you feel as if selling is just like the devil? You don't want to do it, you don't want to deal with it. Let me just go over here and do something else. Let me know in the comments. So there was one conversation that literally changed everything for me, and I'm going to share that in a minute, but first let me actually break down the steps that actually helped me move past those fears that I just told you about. So the first reframe that I had to think of was thinking of sales as service. So remember I told you that I was always thinking about the sale first, but when you're actually selling, you're supposed to start thinking that of how can I serve this person so well that it's a no-brainer that they actually need this product or this service. I need you to stop thinking that I'm taking their money. No, start thinking I'm solving their problems. Because one of the key examples that really shifted my mind around this very topic was Jesus actually washing the disciples' feet, feet. Like he showed us that greatness actually came through serving other people. He actually even said it, right? If the King of Kings could actually bring himself down to where he actually met our needs, why do I think that I can't humble myself in business to actually serve through selling? It's the same thing, right? And then there's a scripture about he that hoards the grain is like a wicked man. I'm not trying to be wicked. I'm gonna give my grain away. So me selling is me serving you, right? And so reframe number two was that I had to learn how to ask more questions and talk less, because a good salesman is almost like a doctor, right? A doctor asks questions first and then prescribes or give you the answer later. Because as people try to sell, they talk, and then talk themselves out of the sale. Almost like pushy car salesmen, right? You don't want to be like the car lot where everything feels like it's a pressure to be around, or you feeling like I gotta convince this person to do something that they don't want to do. That's what bad sales actually is. You want to be like the doctor's office where they ask questions, they actually diagnose your actual problem, not the problem that you think you have, but the problem that you actually have, and then prescribe you the right thing to help you get better. That's what sales actually should be. Sales should feel more like the doctor's office than an actual car lot. And that was the reframe that I had to think about. I need to serve these people in a way to where I ask more questions than I actually talk to them, right? Because I'll tell you about the conversation here in a little bit. But reframe number three that I had was that I only need to offer people what actually fits their problem. Because for me, I don't sell without integrity. If if I have to scam or do any of that to get a sale, I'm not going to do it. I don't care what you say, right? Because integrity means turning people away even if it's not right, right? Integrity means turning people away if it's not right. So for me, I see this, and when I talk to clients or prospective leads or whatnot, when I tell them that they're not a good fit, they literally told me that I thought you was literally going to try to sell me something. That's what I thought that I needed this, but the way that you put it, you showed me that this isn't exactly what I needed. I needed something slightly different. And for me, that built trust. So now when they actually do get to that problem, guess who they're coming to? They're coming to me because of the integrity, and I'm only going to offer them something that actually fits their problem. Right? That's it. It only makes sense. You're not finna go to the grocery store looking for cereal, and now you coming out with a banana. Well, that is the healthier version, but you get what I'm saying. Your focus wasn't to get this. I don't even know if that really made sense, but we're gonna roll with it. So reframe number four is you have to serve before you actually sell. So remember, just like how the doctor we made the reference to the doctor, we have to lead and serve people first before we actually sell them, right? So the one thing that I always tell my people in the community and my coaching clients is that you have to lead with the value first. Because if people don't feel like you're giving them something worth actually listening to, or in this case value, so that means like content, advice, encouragement, if you don't give them value, they won't come and buy from you, because the trust has to be there before they actually give you their money. Because just like Daniel Priestley said, people have to know, like, and trust you in order to do business with you. I'm not going to do business with somebody that I don't like, nor do I expect people to do business with me if they don't like me, right? So trust actually grows before the money moves. And that's something that you need to think about. So just to give you a little illustration of it is, think of a restaurant waiter, right? A good waiter is somebody that actually recommends, they're going to guide you, they're going to serve you and give you a good experience. While a bad waiter is somebody who's going to ignore you, take their time, they not coming to check on your needs. They're going to pressure you to hurry up and get up out this seat, or even try to sell you on some stuff that you don't even want. That's who we don't want to be. Selling should feel like a good waiter guiding you through a process of choosing what you need, or making your experience a whole lot better. So that way you won't feel like the bad one. And that leads me to number five, the reframe number five, which is you have to root sales into your identity. And I believe that this is one of the key things that most entrepreneurs actually miss, Because when you don't root your sales in who you are, everything don't work. It's not gonna work. Like when you know exactly who you are and what you're called to do, your confidence is going to replace all those fears that we actually had, that we seen in the very beginning. So part of the reason why I had those fears was because I was not confident in sales, because I did not put in the reps, because I did not believe that I was worthy to be able to sell. So what does that look like for you? Is your identity rooted in the fear, or is it rooted in knowing who you are and what you're actually called to do? What is your perspective on selling? Right? I that's something that I want to know inside of the comments. But now I want to go back to that story. So I had a conversation with a client, and I'm not going to mention her name, but I had a conversation with a client to where in the very beginning, she literally said that I need help with my offer. I need help with creating a better offer and making sure that I get the right people in. But here's the thing, I started asking her deeper questions about what she's actually dealing with. And truly and honestly, it wasn't the offer and it wasn't the audience. It was her identity that she was struggling with. And the thing of it was that once I actually solved that problem, she actually wanted to pull out her credit card and pay right then, because all of the other people that literally wanted to work with, or the people that she was seeking out, they only wanted her money, saying that I only charge this much and this is not in my expertise. Instead of learning how to serve her, they pushed her away. But when I was able to give her what she actually needed, selling was very easy because it was something that she knew that she needed, and I had the solution for it. So there was no question about, can I make this sale? It was more so of, are you are you ready to make this sale? Right? Do I have everything in place to actually convert this or whatever? Right? And I believe that changed my mindset, because once I actually got to that point, my mindset around selling actually changed. That's when I learned that I should do it from a place of identity and I should actually serve before I actually sell. Now, granted, it sounds very, I already know this type of thing, but everybody don't know it, obviously. And so here's my challenge for you. The next time you're actually in a sales conversation, I don't want you to think about closing a deal. I don't want you to think about the sale. What I want you to think about is the actual person and what they actually need. Ask better questions, listen deeper, and watch how the pressure of selling falls completely off, because serving builds trust and trust builds business. And if you want more practical strategies just like this, make sure you check out the video right here on the screen. And if you're ready to build momentum with other entrepreneurs who are on the same journey as you, I'm going to drop the link down in the description for my private community called the Kingmaker Circle. So that way you can actually get more value and you can actually build a business worth building. So don't just listen to me, keep building. Make sure you keep going. I'll see you in the